South Carolina Judge Dianne Goodstein's house was just burned to the ground just months after she ruled against the Trump administration in a critical voter data case. Yeah, it's horrible. Luckily, she was on a walk when it happened, but her husband, son, and one other person were in the house and thankfully survived by jumping out of a window, although they were hospitalized. But what are you insinuating? Oh, I don't know. Like I said, just months ago, Judge Goodstein ruled against the Trump administration in a critical voter data case. But the South Carolina Supreme Court overturned her ruling. Okay, but regardless, after Judge Goodstein's ruling in September, a member of Trump's DOJ called it a hasty nullification of federal voting laws, essentially accusing her of ruling in favor of voter fraud. And we saw Trump on Memorial Day calling certain judges monsters who are on a mission to keep murderers and rapists in our country. And just a day before Judge Goodstein's house was burned down, Stephen Miller said far-left judges are shielding terrorism. Okay, I see what you're trying to do here, but the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division just came out today saying there's no evidence to suggest the fire was intentionally set, nor that there was a pre-fire explosion. Yeah, but they said that's just their preliminary findings and that the investigation is ongoing, and they didn't offer a possible natural cause of the fire. Okay, but there were multiple left-wingers, including Congressman Daniel Goldman, who immediately, when this happened, blamed it on Republicans. When we see the type of rhetoric coming out of this administration, Trump calling Democrats gnats on our shoulders that we have to deal with, I'm sorry that some make the assumption that Democratic judges' houses burning to the ground could be an act of political violence. Keyword could be. Why further the divide before we know the facts, especially since houses burn down all the time due to wiring faults, kitchen fires, space heaters left on, and many other accidental causes. Yeah, well, in any case, speaking of division, maybe Trump should stop calling Democratic judges monsters and people will stop presuming malfeasance when their houses get burned down. Maybe you shouldn't presume anything that furthers the divide before facts are known. All right, y'all do yours, we'll do ours. Okay, yeah, let me call up Trump on speed dial. Yeah, that ain't happening. No one knows who you are. Hey,